filmmaker Carmen Pineda Selva joins us to share her journey of healing motorcycles and creative rebirth. Plus, how a dream turned into a documentary series that's spanning and exploring Canada. Welcome to the show. This episode is brought to you by my book, Brand Jitsu. Move your brand from meh to memorable. Brand Jitsu is the battle-tested method I've been using for nearly 20 years to help artists, entrepreneurs, and businesses find, shape, and share their stories so everyone gets it. And where do you get a copy of this amazing book? Glad you asked. Head over to brandjitsu.com to order a signed copy, or get it at Indigo, Chapters, Kohl's, Barnes & Noble, or head down to your local independent bookstore and ask them to bring it in. Welcome to the Rebel Rebel. I'm your host, Michael Dargie, and right across the table from me, I love doing these live things, I've got Carmen Pineda Selva.
Excellent.
Ah?
Yeah.
Yes. Nailed it. Carmen, just catch us up. What is it that you're doing right now? Like, what's your thing? what's your move?
Why do you start with the hardest question?
Yeah.
It's like segue
No,
into
we just dive right in.
Yeah, I always say that I have no idea what I'm doing. I just kind of live life courageously, and I act
Yay!
Who does that?
Right? That's awesome.
Only cool people.
That's why you're on this show.
Yeah, right. What am I doing? Well, I always do a lot of videography. I dive into the arts, and I just kind of go with the flow.
Nice.
So I always say, I don't know how the universe works, but I know how to move with it.
That's awesome.
Is that like the total hippie
No,
thing to say?
I mean, it's totally hippie, but I'm down for it. Or as the kids say, I'm here for it.
I'm here for it.
That's wicked. Okay, so as you have learned how to move with the universe, when did you first figure that out? Like, when did you first notice that the universe?
6 months ago.
What?
I know, right?
Wait, what?
6 months ago is
Okay.
when I learned. Okay, no,
Okay.
I can like confidently say, 6 months ago that I went, oh my goodness, I get it now. I get why things are lining up. You know how you can like look back at all of those things in life and go, this is why stuff happened.
Right.
And this is how to move forward. And even when it happened 6 months ago, I still, had moments when I went, what the crap, universe? Like, I thought this was what it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And, you had that major low where it's like, no, Carmen, you are not like the center of the universe. It's not supposed to be this way. Even though you thought this was how it was, this was actually just a stepping stone. Maybe you're supposed to do something bigger and better. And even, and that's when you kind of go, oh, okay, yes, humility is good.
Mm-hmm.
And I have so much to learn and to move with it. And why do I think that I have all the answers in life? I clearly don't. So just go with it.
Amazing. Okay, so what happened 6 months ago? Was there like a thing that happened? You're just like,
okay, well, everything for me is a story.
like, you're on the perfect show for this.
Okay, but everything is a story that I don't really understand the story or don't know the story. So I go halfway through the story, I'll go, wait, there's another story to that story. So bear with me.
An addendum.
Okay, let me think of how to start this. 6 months ago is when I finished a project. And as an artist, when you finish a project, usually you have something else that's going on and to kind of get you through, and you don't really have time to think because you're so busy in life.
Yeah.
Well, I started a project, finished a project, and then I kind of went, what next?
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do? And then I started to kind of go into that spirally downhill spiral that kind of happens where I went, I do video. Do I even do it well? I don't even know how to work the camera most of the time. I stick it on auto. Like, why do people pay me to do this? Get into that whole self-doubt. Everybody's doing video now. Everybody's posting stuff on YouTube, and it's probably so much better. And getting into that whole thing of am I supposed to do video? What do I yes, I have all these accolades. Are they even just down. So I was in that mindset where I was just like, okay, let's just put it out there. I'm going to go full hippie on, you and just go, universe, whatever is supposed to happen. I don't have a project. I don't know if this is what I want to do. I don't know the way to move forward. Life is changing. Everybody kind of goes through that, I think. But it was that moment. And so I just went, just tell me what to do and I will do it. Like, do it. Give me that sign. Like, now. And literally, as I said that, my house became musical. It was like, ding, 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 you have mail. And I was like, oh, that's weird.
What?
Okay.
Thanks, universe.
So I checked it. And it was the Alberta's Artisan Residence, the application. So it was my reminders that this was due.
Interesting.
And so now we can move back to like 6 months beforehand, probably 6 months, when I was in the car with JD, my fiance, which is another story. You know JD.
We know JD.
Everybody knows JD.
Yeah.
It's the voice.
Freedom Biker Tours, if you remember.
Motorcycles.
Yeah, Sunday. Yes, race day Sunday.
Yeah. But so he, we were in the truck and he said something like, oh, well, I've done my master's. You should do your master's. And I went, yeah, that's wonderful. Like, I would love to do a master's, but here's the deal. I only want to do a master's if, I can have complete control over it. I don't actually have to write it because I hate writing and I could do it like creative. So like a visual master's, which probably would never happen. I also don't want to like wake up and go to school like physically because I'm lazy. And so I don't want to like go out and roadblock. And I want to get paid to do it rather than paying an institute to do it. So those are all of my restrictions that I want. So if all of those can be met, sure, I do a master's.
Oh my God.
So, yeah.
So
then I went, oh, the Alberta Artisan Residence, that could probably be every single thing. Because I get paid to do it.
Yeah.
I could do it however I want. I could do it on whatever subject I want. Okay, universe, I'll do it. And then, of course, I went, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
But it'll probably be something video because that's what my vibe. That's what I do. And I was like, oh, isn't that interesting that I kind of went, 2 seconds ago, I was like, what am I doing in life? And why should I make videos? And then right away, I'm like, oh, I'm doing videos. This is my vibe. That's like the journey of an entrepreneur, right?
Oh my God.
So I started the application for, I kind of decided I need to meditate and figure out what I want to make it about.
Yeah.
And of course, I decided to meditate, and true to me, I just ended up falling asleep. But when I fell asleep, I dreamt the entire project from beginning to end. I've never done that before. Dreamt it, beginning to end.
Crazy.
So the project itself was called Alberta's Healing Landscapes, and that started from another story of how I met JD and how it evolved, which is basically we'll talk about healing, we'll talk about alienation, we'll talk about motorcycles. So what's that? That's like an acronym for ham. We're gonna ham it up.
We're gonna ham it up.
We're gonna ham it.
The ham jam.
Ham jam.
So is it in progress right now?
Yeah, you know what? This is where it kind of. So long story short, I didn't get the Alberta Artisan Residence. It was a really bad week where I didn't get that. We got some other news, which that's another story to it.
Yeah.
That I'll get to, I promise. But I don't know. What was I saying? I didn't get it.
You didn't get it.
But it has evolved into something much bigger, better. And we'll talk about that too, I guess.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, which is now
what is it?
Canada's Healing Landscapes, a motorcycle. What is it called?
Documentary?
Motorcycle journey.
Adventure?
Yeah, through the Maritimes.
Love it. Which,
again, now is looking at going, well, if you're going to do one, might as well do 5 documentaries.
Right.
Canada is huge and Maritimes is just one. Yeah.
So when does the Maritimes one happen?
June of this year.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And just give me a brief thing. So this is going to tie into, and this is a shameless plug for Freedom Biker Tours, right? The JD's company, but this is going to tie into JD. That. And you're basically going to have do a documentary along the way.
Okay, let's back up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Back me up. Take me back.
Take you back. So this is kind of the root of how things all started. So this was probably like, 2.5, 3 years ago? That was, again, it's like kind of post-COVID. Everybody like was in a crappy place post-COVID.
Yeah.
I was in a seriously crappy place. During COVID, I was going through separation.
Oh.
Yeah, really sad.
That's awful.
Yeah, it was kind of like a Pandora box where I went, are you wearing a mask? Like, are you not the person you say you are? Is this really real? Like, starting to ask questions that in hindsight is probably the best thing to ask questions, but it's one of those Pandora boxes that you open and now you've opened it and you can't go back and you see someone for who they really are and you kind of learn too much. And they say, you never really know a person until you break up with them. So true. So yeah, bad. So I was kind of at that place and I was just very, not liking life, going through the motions, autopilot, right?
Yeah.
That's what you would say. So it was autopilot. And I was asked to do Travel Alberta asked if I would come on this video thing, this new travel thing that they wanted to do. It was all like history and with the CMTA. So cool. I was like, sure, I'll totally go on there because I used to produce a show that was called The History Wrangler. So my host and I were asked to go on this thing.
Cool.
So I was like, awesome. And it was the host that was kind of giving me all the information.
Yeah.
And I love him so much, but he's not like the greatest at giving the detail.
Yeah.
So I show up for this filming and I go, oh, CMTA, Canadian Motorcycle Tourism, like this is a biker thing. I was not prepared for this, but in hindsight, I'm always prepared because I love Doc Martens. Like Doc Martin, you should sponsor me, Doc Martens.
Yes.
I love you guys so much, and I wear your shoes everywhere for everything. Anyways, sponsor me.
It checks
with
out.
like the thick heel because I'm so sure.
It checks out. Doc Martin.
Checks out.
Yeah.
Totally. Doc Martin.
She's
Carmen,
legit.
Carmen Pineda Selva.com. No, I don't have that. Okay, so I show up. Okay, this is a biker thing. I've never been on a bike. I don't know. And not to be weird and to go with this universe thing, 3 months prior to going on this CMTA Travel Alberta thing, I was doing a filming at a Indigenous groundbreaking ceremony, and all the elders, they came up to me and they were like just giving me such words of like wisdom. Like they were just like, you're going through a lot right now and you have a lot of decisions to make. And I was like, well, doesn't everybody in life? And they're like, no, you have some stuff. And I was like, wow, I do. Like I had just had a meeting with my lawyer that was basically like, you either fight or you let go. And, these choices aren't really good in life. And so you need to kind of figure out how you're going to move forward.
Yeah.
And one of the elders actually said to me, he's like, well, a lot of people in life say, I would like die for my kids. Like that's something like honorable to do. I would die for my kids. But dying takes nothing.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're dead now.
Yeah.
What does that do? There's no energy. Now there's resource that you have given your kids is
Somebody's
gone.
got to get rid of the
He's
body.
like, what? Yeah, totally. He's like, what you should do is you should say, I would live for my kids. And that was something that was like,
right.
Holy. And that was mostly because of the breakup and separation and whatnot that I was dealing with. And I was like, well, that one, I want that one. I want to like live. Like, obviously that's the one that I want, but I don't know how. And, everybody's like self-care, self-care, self-care. But I've taken the salt baths.
Yeah.
I've like,
oh yeah,
eaten an ice cream in the sauna and like tried to like eat it before it melts and see if I get a brain freeze. Like, come on, I'm trying to like do some fun things, but it's not working. Like, and that was when another elder came up to me and she was like, oh, Carmen, you're going to be fine. You're going to be on like a back of a motorcycle, traveling the world, asking people questions. And I was like, well, I was this close to believing you, but that's never going to happen.
Right. Fast forward
3 months. I'm on this tour and I'm like, okay, go with it. Cool. Sure. So the host that I was in the car with on the first day, it was a 9.5-hour ride in the car from Calgary to Bragg Creek to Edson. And I was stuck in the car, no air conditioning in August, super heat, no, July, August, whatever. Yeah. Semantics. It was hot and there was no air conditioning. And I love my host. He's like, 6-year-old guy dressed up like cowboy. Yeah. And, kid show, history.
If you're listening to this and not watching the video, you're missing Carmen's finger guns.
I know. I said, I warned you that I might hit this 10 times. But okay, so he was kind enough to play me his newly recorded songs about history royale, country songs, which country is my kryptonite. And but he was also singing to me. So I was serenaded. And when I say recorded, I mean like him just recording on his iPhone. So 9.5 hours of being serenaded by.
Damn.
Yeah. So when I got to the end of the first day and we kind of got to meet everybody who was on the tour for the first time, this wonderful person named JD.
My name's JD.
I know. The voice.
Did he say, "Hey, little lady"?
Yeah, he did. He was like, "What's your name?" And he's a swagger.
I love your voice for him. It's great.
So he came up and he's like, "Little lady, what's your deal? What's your name?" And I was like, "My name is Carmen, and I'm like researching Greyhound tickets to get off this train, like, because I need to not be in the car, listening to country kids Louis Royale songs." And so he said, "Let's get you on the back of my bike." And I kind of went, "That's really cool. Guys say shit like that all the time, but we're in the middle of a tour. That's never going to happen." And so the next morning, true to his word, during the briefing, he went, "Hey, I want to get Carmen on a motorcycle and let's get her a helmet. And there's a store close by." And I called them and they only open at 10 o'clock, but I called ahead. They'll open at 9 o'clock. And I was like, who is this magical guy who says what he means and does what he says?
He's JD. FreedomBikeRTours.com.
So anyways, what happened is I got on the back of the bike because I was like, let's do it. And what's awesome is that my host actually paid for the helmet.
Nice.
So, okay, but that's really important because what happened is I got on the bike and I feel like somebody slapped me. That's what it was.
Prophecy.
I'm like, oh my goodness, you amazing Indigenous elders. Like, no wonder why you're elders. Like, just full, like, how do you know?
Connected to the universe.
You just know. They are. They are. Okay, so what happened to me was that the very first thing, I went, holy shit, this is fun.
Yeah.
And I forgot that life is supposed to be fun. Like, what? Life, like, isn't that the definition of life? Like, fun, happy?
Yeah.
Totally.
Right.
So, life is supposed to be fun. And I forgot that. So it was living again, what that is like. That's fun. And so that was the first thing. The second thing is that it made me completely aware of the environment around, which as a biker, I'm sure you know.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I was like, I didn't realize that trees smell different. I didn't realize that like you can feel the mist of a waterfall before you get to it. You have a completely different relationship with the sun.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember being like, where's my seatbelt? Like, why am I allowed to be just completely free and open? Like I could reach out and touch something. Like, so that's where the nature and the healing of the landscape kind of came and evolved, which is what turned into that Alberta's healing landscape. So that's because I went, what is the most profound thing that happened in life? Getting on the back of that bike. Amazing. Which I have to tell you. So by lunchtime, I was like, I just want to do this for the rest of my life, be on the bike. And by supper time, I was like, I kind of want to do this with JD. JD. For the rest of my life.
Wow.
Which I hopefully will and am, which also blows my mind that I'm at this spot where I went, never again. Why would I? And,
Again, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify and you missed Carmen pointing to her engagement ring.
The big ass rock.
The big ass rock.
That's there.
That's pretty badass.
I know.
Was he like, Carmen, will you marry me? I'm doing a really piss poor job of JD's voice right now.
We should just get him to come on and reenact it.
You know what? We will do a duo because I think what we need to do is have a Rebel Freedom Biker Tour co-production where we talk about this adventure that's going to happen this summer.
And the evolution of the Alberta's healing landscape that has actually turned into much more, which is why I always say, like, you like, why are you so stupid to think that you know how the universe is supposed to be or work or how the world works? Like, I think the very first day when I met JD, we were chatting in a group or something at lunch, and somebody said something about marriage, and I was like, fuck that, I'm never getting married. Like, screw, who would ever do that?
And the universe is like,
I don't know. Right? Psych. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I'm lucky.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You guys are both very lucky. This is really cool. Really cool. Do you ride or are you just a passenger?
We don't talk about that.
We don't talk about that?
We don't talk about that.
Oh.
That's the thing the incident that we don't talk about. Okay, so let me tell you. I did have like the whole girl power thing. Like at first I was like, well, I want to ride. Like I just want to, get on my own and do this. And then I had the whole girl power I can do, and whatever, I can do it on my own. And so we were in Mexico and one of his affiliates has a scooter company. And so we went on the scooters and I was like, I can be on my own. Cool. And obviously no.
In fairness, scooters aren't motorcycles.
No, they're not. And I kind of thought that you would be turning and just like turn. No, on a scooter you have to be like really fast. Okay, but also, so I was diagnosed with MS in 2004. Okay. So I've been living with it for 24 years.
Wow.
Totally fine.
Yeah.
Not totally fine, but I'm fine, but I'm not fine.
Fine, not fine.
But I always try to go, I'm fine. I deal with vertigo, but that's not really whatever. You normalize certain things.
Sure.
And so getting on a scooter when you have vertigo and then you're in Mexico and a dog comes out and the roads are bumpy and a curve shouldn't be there. Like, I think the curve moved. So now I kind of have like a little bit of a Jason Momoa thing happening here and a nice little scar. But that's the
so
thing
badass.
We don't talk about. So thanks for bringing it up.
I didn't see that in the rider or the show intake form.
Okay, but here's also like people, I think many people have asked, like, would you be on, ride your own? But I'm like, seriously, why would I when I have such a good person that takes me? Like, I'm smart. Why would I think that I'd be safer on my own than safer with someone who has like, I don't know, 40 years like of experience riding. More, probably more. Oh my God, you're old.
That JD.
JD.
So I would.
But he's experienced.
I would say, I'm just going to throw this out here for another shameless plug, that you should talk with Trevor Deck at Too Cool Motorcycle School.
Yeah, I've heard of them. Actually, my uncle, he does a lot of, like, he used to train people on race cars and blah, blah, blah. And he recommended them when I was first thinking of it. But then I also went, here's some logistics too. If we buy if I'm going to buy myself a motorcycle, why don't we just buy another motorcycle that's ours and combined, and now we can have different motorcycles, and now,
JD is 8 feet tall. You are 2 feet tall.
I know. That's why he doesn't mind. But that's why we make a really good team, specifically too for videoing, and that's why it kind of has evolved, and I've kind of been embraced into this motorcycle communities, more so with the film, because my company is called Videography Incognito.
Yes.
Incognito. But it's because I'm teeny tiny.
Right.
And because
pocket sized.
Fun size.
Fun size.
Thank you. Fun size. But because I can, hang off the motorcycle and get some cool angles, and I totally trust him and his experience. I don't have to worry. I can hang off the bike and get some stuff, and we just make a really good team together.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Yeah. It is cool.
What's your guilty pleasure? Like, what do you do just for Carmen? Like, what fills your bucket?
JD.
JD.
Besides the motorcycle now, because that's like the whole thing. Yeah.
Is there anything? It's fine if there's not. I mean, if it's just
I think guilty pleasures are kind of like the rebellious feeling, that rebellious nature within. So it's like when somebody says you can't do that, and then I go, watch. But not really, because usually I have a bit of like, you're right, I can't. Oh my goodness.
But then you get through it.
Mad. And I go, okay, I'm gonna do it.
I can't see you mad.
No, it's not. It's not.
This just doesn't read as, that's so cute.
No, I know.
You're so mad.
I seriously don't get mad. I get internal mad.
Yeah.
Which is just a heart attack.
You grew up in Calgary, right?
I did.
Do you have any favorite parts of Calgary?
Okay, I'm having a love-hate relationship with Calgary right now.
That's fair.
So it's an unfortunate question to ask.
Yeah.
So
you could skip it and just be like, next.
Well, but I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
So I grew up here and I did love certain parts, but I find that like Calgary is it's in a perpetual state of metamorphosis. There's shit coming all over the place, and you're driving down a road and you're like, whoa, this road wasn't like this before. Now there's an overpass, or now there's construction going on. And I grew up in Calgary, so I should know the construction side of it. But then I met JD, and he introduced me to Summerland and the Okanagan. And now I come back and I'm like, this is cement.
So much cement.
But that's also where the healing landscapes came from, where it was really reconnecting with the environment, with the world around. And, when I was working on the documentary for the healing landscapes, like I had this dream, vision, whatever you want to call it, where I was staring at the water and all the lakes, and I was thinking how beautiful all the lakes are around here. And, they're so crystal clear. And I was just being so drawn into the lakes. And all of a sudden, all these sharks and stuff came out, like eels, like electric eels.
What?
And I was like, whoa, Carmen, like, stop. Like, you are in Alberta. There's like no sharks. There's no electric eels. I don't know. Maybe there's an eel. I'll have to research that.
I'm pretty sure you think you're going to be fine.
I know. Yeah. So you're cool. You're safe. Jump. That's kind of that healing landscape where I'm like, no, there's some beautiful things about it, and which kind of goes to this greater Alberta or Canada healing landscapes that we're talking about, because that one is kind of through the eyes of motorcyclists.
Yeah.
But it's also the messaging in there is kind of saying, you know, if Canada is this like beautiful, gorgeous, curvy road, different landscaped woman, you know, it's like, yeah, she's got some damage and some cracks, but that's where the light comes and shines through. Like all these motorcycles are helping her, like they helped me. But
that's so lovely.
Yeah.
Have you? I mean, you haven't ridden in Ontario yet, I'm assuming, like the Canadian Shield.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
But it's on the list.
That's part 4 of the 5-part documentary.
And then the island. I'm assuming you'll do like the West
Victoria.
Coast. Yeah, Victoria.
Yeah. Yeah. We just went
to Fino.
Yeah.
Highway 4 maybe down to. Oh,
we got some rain, which rain is
it's a thing.
There's a love-hate relationship where you're like, you know, you got to make peace with the rain, just like rain is life too.
Yeah, totally.
Where you're so proud of yourself when you've accomplished and finished it, but there's also a healing aspect where, I mean, I love my warm showers and just sitting there letting that rain wash over everything. But yeah,
love it.
Gotta love that rain.
Do you cook? Like, are you like a chef type person, or you
do?
Do you? What's your thing? What's your move?
I don't know, anything.
Like, do you like make pasta?
I make pasta. I make pizzas. I always say pizza's like sex, where even if it's bad, it's still good. So you know, start there if you're gonna learn. But I don't know. I also think nuts. You add nuts into anything, like, you know, Thai food.
Yeah. What's your nut? Do you have any
cashews?
Cashews. Yes.
Cashews.
Yeah, you're my
Those
people.
But no, I love cooking. Actually, it's interesting because when I had the 3 years separation before I met JD.
I'm never going to get tired.
I hated to cook because I loved it, and it was one of the things that it was too triggering to cook.
Oh, wow.
Because I cooked for the kids. I would make like super fun, like hot dog shaped weird
you did.
things, and so getting back to cooking was very, very triggering, and now I love to cook.
Oh, that's again, so nice.
Which is nice. Yeah,
that's great. What's your dream vacation? I mean, clearly on a motorcycle, but like what?
It's like, hello.
But where?
Someplace warm on a motorcycle.
Any place warm on a motorcycle?
With decent roads, so it's not too bumpy. So those are pretty well the restrictions.
Okay, but no place in particular. You're not like, oh man, I'd always wanted to do Madagascar.
No. Well, now that you say that, sure. Yeah, that's a bucket list. Absolutely. Okay, no. So I'm one of those people who I think some people might go, well, you probably don't know what you want. And I'm like, it's not that I don't know what I want. I know what I don't like.
Yeah, that's
but
valuable.
For the most part, I'm like, I might know what I want, but who am I to really know what I want? Like, what, maybe you have a better idea. Like, I'm not so arrogant that I can be like, Greece, I want to go to Greece, which I do want to go to Greece.
Just to tell the universe.
But, yeah, exactly. Well, that's why I'm like, come on, native lady. You said that I'd be on the back of a motorcycle traveling, touring the world. Like, make that come true. Somebody out there, make that come true.
I feel like it's already in the works.
I know, right? Yeah. That's because we're making it come true.
Yeah, it just sort of happens that way.
That's the whole, like, you can wish and you can pray, but if you're not doing anything.
I got a weird question to ask. First of all, do you like the ocean?
Yeah, of course.
I know. Some people are like, oh,
it's not my favorite. I like lakes more than ocean.
Really?
But, yeah.
Okay. All right. So lakes.
Because there's no scary eels or sharks.
Okay, so you're at your favorite lake, whatever that happens to be. I have two questions. The first one is, are you a wade into the water person, or are you a cannonball jump and hell yeah?
Yeah, I'm more of that one because, and I think that this is like everything with life and stuff,
Yeah.
where it's like that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go,
Yeah.
which I kind of take down to the 3, 2, 1, because if I do the 5, I talk myself out of it halfway through. I get to 3 and I'm like, this is taking too long. I just won't do it.
That's hilarious.
But I'd rather do the jump in because then I don't think about it so much, which I think is everything in life. Which, okay, I have another story for you, which would be that. So, I don't know where to begin with this one, but I did this TV show, this series. It was 21 episodes. That was called The Lieutenant Governor of Alberta, the Alberta History Quiz Show. Do you want to repeat that?
No.
It's long because of politics.
Yeah, okay.
Anyways, yeah, it has to be
it's
a
so
certain
catchy.
way.
Such a catchy title.
So this was like the deal that Rob Leonard, the history wrangler, I met him. So let me take this back. I started one of the first online television networks, which was called Vulcan Television.
Okay.
Vulcan TV. It was the town's attempt to become one of the world's most technologically savvy rural community, which they could have because they had the whole Star Trek and we started the whole, and so it was to bring fiber optics into a rural community, and fiber optic was brand new. So they were kind of like a launching, Anyway, so we started a television network to showcase it.
Cool.
But the town was kind of like, we don't like progression, and we're a farm community, and what are you doing with TV stuff? So they kind of were like, yeah, we don't think so. And so they kind of poo-pooed it, and pretty well the same week, I went to do one of my last filmings with the town, and it was at Aspen Crossing Railway Train Station, which is awesome. You should go see that if you haven't. Anyways, so the former Lieutenant Governor of Alberta, but she was at the time, was doing this history thing with kids at the train station. So I went to videotape it and kind of promote it, which led me to having a relationship with Her Honor, which she's my BFF. I'm not allowed to say that. I'm not.
We have to cut that out?
Yeah, you do.
No, we don't. We don't have to cut that out now.
No.
Okay.
Anyway, so I met her.
Yeah.
And I since did like what I refer to as legacy videos, which is basically like a documentary, but it's more for like for family rather than public. So I did a legacy video for her, and nice. FYI, during the interviews with her, I think I told her to like shut up like 2 or 3 times. He was like, "Shut up! You didn't do that. No way! Shut up!" And it was afterwards that I was being escorted out. That her
for
staff
telling her to
was
shut
like,
up.
"Carmen, when you say shut up to the Lieutenant Governor, that's like saying shut up to the Queen." And I was like, "Oh." Sorry.
How does she take it?
Oh, she's such a lovely woman. No, she loves it. She's so great.
There's something about when you're authentic.
And that's
right.
That's another thing. Like the MS, I find, is a blessing and a curse because I have 0 memory retention almost. So I can't tell lies because I can't keep track of stuff. So I'm like, I don't know what I told you. I don't know what I said. So I just have to be myself or do whatever. So, I mean, she kind of calls me Boots sometimes because I wear the boots. Doc Martin. So anyways, but it's not about her. It's about me.
Yeah. This is not about her.
Yeah. So, but I started to work with her, and we came up with this Lieutenant Governor of Alberta, the Alberta History Quiz Show, which was, Rob was also the host of it. It's a quiz show where you take 2 kids from 2 different schools, and it's 2 competing schools and about 40 kids each, a little bit more maybe. 30 to 50 kids from each school, and we bring them into a museum and we talk about like all these history related questions and stuff like that. So what I'm trying to get at is in life, I know
we're getting there. We're getting there.
It's a curvy road, but that's the best road. Lean into it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. But this is why I say, like, don't overthink things in life, because when I stopped and went, Carmen, you're such a dummy because you literally brought like 100 kids into a historical museum with all these artifacts, which is like super high end, like lieutenant governor, government-y type of stuff.
Yeah.
The people that you had to video were all persons with disabilities. So you put like expensive equipment and camera all throughout there. Like, this is a recipe for disaster, which it very well could have, but it worked out really well.
Thanks, universe.
But I know, right? But that's where I go the cannonball, where I'm like, don't think, just do.
Yeah.
Right?
Love it.
And that's where it has led me to so many different experiences and options where I go, you want me to work with the lieutenant governor? Oh, sure, I'll do that. Like, I don't think, I'll just come and do, and it'll advance me to something else.
What is one thing that you wish the world knew?
That very thing that I said, to stop overthinking and to just do.
Love it.
To, which is so stupid because, like, of me.
Don't say that.
None of them. World, you're not
Be
stupid.
nice to my friend Carmen.
But it's just, it's like, I'm probably like the most overthinker type of person, because I've got like the 14 things going on at the same time. So, but it's just the whole shut up and just jump, where I was like, don't, like, you're going to make mistakes. There's going to be something wrong. I'm sure somebody's going to tip over a light or something and it's going to break. But you know what? You can buy another light bulb. If you learn from that mistake, you learn.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And it's actually, I don't know what I was going to say.
Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
What? Say that again?
Pineapple on pizza.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
totally.
Excellent.
Anything on pizza.
Anything on pizza.
Like I said, that's like, pizza's like
6.
It's gonna be good no matter what. Do everything in life once and the fun things twice.
Yeah, or more than twice. Yeah, that's awesome.
Or multiple times, JD.
JD.
Sorry. Oh, yeah, there's
again, if you're listening to this, you should go watch the YouTube video, because this is gonna be fire. Carmen is so delightful. There's these people in the world, we call them rebels in waiting. They're people maybe like you all those years ago, when you're just like, I don't know if I should do a thing, or maybe I should do a thing, but I don't know how to do the thing. What is that one piece of advice you'd give to these rebels in waiting to help them get there?
I don't think there are rebels in waiting. I think everyone is a rebel in waiting, because I think everybody has that potential to do something or be something, or do something more. And so that advice is, again, just cannonball it, right? Like, go with it. It's kind of like, so like my company, the videography incognito, like, it's called incognito because I kind of hide. Like, we've established that I'm 5'0" and and so when I worked with Her Honor too, like, I would hide in corners because it was sometimes persons of importance or stature, or when I do wedding videography, or I'm like, I like to capture the authenticity, that moment, the candid. I'm like, there's two ways to do it, where it's like the beautiful shot where you're setting things up and it's like, walk down the aisle. Okay, do it again. Let's capture it from another. Walk down the aisle. Like that. That's not me. Like, just do it and get that authentic, the real, what you are, right? So I always go, it's like the rebels in waiting are just, it's everybody. It's at that, everybody's just waiting. Like people are so scared sometimes to just be and do, and cannonball. And like, freaking just be like, that's where the incognito, I was like, oh, I'm so short, and it's like, no, I'm short,
use your strength.
Yeah, totally. I can like hide, I can like hang off the bike, I can do so many cool things.
That's awesome. Where do people find you?
I don't know.
like what's your website? What's your, like, are you on LinkedIn?
Okay, well, here's the reason why I don't have a website. And I mean, I have the Facebook page. So you can go into videography incognito.
Facebook page.
You can go on their Facebook page. The reason why I don't have so much is because I've never really had to.
Yeah.
I always get referrals. I get one job leads to another. And I think that's like the beauty of the networking. Yeah. And I'm also selective.
Oh, good.
But I think, like, if you want to work with me, it's just as much as me interviewing you as it is you interviewing me. Because I don't want to have something that's not real or authentic,
it's gotta be
right?
authentic,
Those moments. You're going to create crap if you don't obey your inner rumble.
Love that.
Inner rumble.
JD.
Motorcycle.
FreedomBikerTours.com.
Yeah, just do that. You know what? Go to there. You'll find me through there.
There you go.
And I do all of his videos, so you'll just see all that stuff. So.
Amazing. Carmen, this has been so much fun. You are a hoot.
Well, I like talk the whole time. We didn't even talk about anything that you've done.
Oh, but this is a show about you. We'll do a co-pro later. We'll do the whole Rebel Michael Dargie Freedom Biker Tours.
And then we
Carmen
can talk about
JD.
Like improv and talk about the whole
all the stuff.
Yeah. Cool stuff.
This has been time well spent.
Thank
Carmen.
You.
Love you.
Thank you.
Hey, it's me again. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you're an artist, entrepreneur, or business owner who believes your brand can be more than it is, head over to brandjitsu.com and join the list to get your copy of my book, Brand Jitsu, Move Your Brand from Meh to Memorable. I've been your host, Michael Dargie, and this has been the Rebel Podcast. It's a podcast for creative rebels and entrepreneurs all over the world. And hey, if you're a rebel or you know a rebel, why don't you head on over to therebelrebelpodcast.com and fill out our guest request form. Share or subscribe wherever you get your favorite podcasts. And thanks so much for listening. Until next time.